Hi, good day, and welcome to Football Finance Podcast on Marble Halls TV. Now, I want to discuss the UEFA Super League. Well, not UEFA Super League, but the general concept of a European Super League, and essentially why I believe it won't come to pass anytime soon. Anytime soon, say in the next probably 5 to 10 years. Now, the reason for the modern Champions League as it is, obviously it has not been the European Cup alone, or the champions alone for some time, since, say, probably around, say, the mid-1990s. I think they first started to have the runners-up in. And then now, obviously, in some leagues like the Premier League and Serie A and La Liga, of course, Bundesliga, 4 teams in it. However, a Super League may happen in the future, but as I say, not in the near future. One reason I think for that is because 2 main reasons. One, I think the president of UEFA has said that he doesn't want it. And 2, the clubs themselves, I think, are content with their current lot. Now, I'm a Gooner, so we may not even be in the Champions League next season. But nonetheless, well, look, Man United may not, but it doesn't matter. Arsenal still is one of the biggest clubs in Europe, in revenues, in brand. Yes, he never won the Champions League, but that's by the by, because we're talking about commercial factors and facets here, not necessarily success. Look, Steaua Bucharest have won it. Porto has, Arsenal's clearly a bigger club than both, in many regards and many facets. But if one looks at, commercially, all the big English clubs really, I think is something on the back burner, though not something prominent, because I think the Champions League format works as it does, so there's no need to change it necessarily. However, another factor that I have not mentioned is the backlash. If there is a UEFA Super League, or European Super League, then how exactly would it work? Would it be on the basis of, would it be promotion and relegation? Would it be in terms of, so let's say Real Madrid or Barca, let's say they finish bottom of their group in the Super League or something, would they go back to La Liga? Could Atletico Madrid, could, Sevilla, Deportivo, Real Betis, whoever, Valencia, could they take their place? Similarly, from England, if Man City or Chelsea or Arsenal or Spurs or whoever, or, if they went out, could Liverpool or whoever, even Everton or someone like that, take their place? Again, that remains to be seen. So we have to say, in that regard, the logistics of it, the actual operation of it, I think remains to be seen. So in that context, I can't see a Super League happening anytime soon, because whilst I think it's very naive to believe that the powers that be at all the major clubs in Europe have not at least considered or discussed this privately amongst themselves or within their own clubs. I'll be very surprised if, say, Ivan Gazidis or has not discussed this within Arsenal, or even Wenger, or Sir Chips, or Woodward and the Glazers at Man U. And look, all these chairmen and stuff, Abramovich, Emanalo, the head of the City Football Group, who own Man City, John Henry, Mr. Perez at Real Madrid, Rummenigge at Bayern, all of these top management, all the big European clubs. I'll be very surprised if as I say, behind closed doors, or, even in discussions between themselves, and not itemize this. I'll be very surprised if they haven't, but I think for a variety of reasons that I've stated, I can't see the European Super League arising for a little time yet. I think the current format is sufficient. They get enough revenues, they get TV, but there'd have to be some kind of shift. And also, I think there will be too much of a backlash because, you know, Arsenal is clearly one of the clubs that would benefit from this, but you can't just look at it from selfish concerns. You have to look for the good of the sport in general. And you know, that's just the way I see it. So this is based on a story. You can check it out on all the news from early this week, that the president of UEFA said that he wants the big clubs in Europe to rein in on their desire, as it were, for a European Super League. Obviously, he sees it as a threat to the Champions League, because if, let's say, all the top clubs in Europe break away to form their own Super League, and that would get the revenue, not any Champions League. So I'd like, you know, basically, that's his angle, more so his own, or UEFA's own self-interest, which is understandable because that's where they get a shitload of their revenue from. But nonetheless, if it does happen, I don't think it'll be by another 5 or 10 years. So thanks very much for listening, and please pass this on and share to anyone interested in the finances of football. Thank you.